Hi, my name is Nicole Watson and welcome to the Our Favorites YouTube hop. I'm gonna do a spread in my art journal showing all the favorite materials I like to use. I guess my main favorite material to use are kids' art supplies. So I love using just really inexpensive oil pastels. I love using these quick sticks, solid tempera paint, and the Doebler woody 3-in-1 pencils are also really great, as well as water brushes. And then things that are not necessarily kids items, but one of my other favorite supplies are the Doebler pencils, paint markers. I love spray ink, acrylic paint, and also acrylic ink. So to start, first thing I like to do, I just like to take some blank pages or something that might have something on it already and just create some scribbles all over. And the fun thing about the oil pastels is that you can use any color in any combination because they won't mix up together too bad. So you can, just like you can't really use spray inks on the opposite side of the color wheel because they'll kind of mix and make brown. These oil pastels don't do too bad when they mix around together, so you can get kind of free and scribbly as you're working with them. When I'm done with that, sometimes I'll go in and just add a couple of little drops of acrylic ink on one side, and then just sort of close it to kind of sandwich those two halves together, and then you get sort of a butterfly effect on either side. I also like to use just plain copy paper to press down, and that lifts up some of the paint as well. That way you don't have to wait too long for it to dry for the next layer. And then it also gives you some collage paper you can use in the end. So I'll be using these little scrap papers to kind of mop up paint and all that. I love using stencils with spray ink. And I love to spray once, print once. It just gives you a different look. You can also close the page together. And as a third application, you can also take a baby wipe and rub a stencil that has ink on it through to another piece of paper or onto your journal page. Now we'll use the quick sticks to just make little marks. This is kind of nice because they're a little bit different than the oil pastels. They're tempera paint in stick form, so they will go over whatever layers you already have down. And it dries pretty quick. It will blend a little bit, but once it's dry, it's pretty much in place. Another fun thing to use is acrylic paint, just in little spots, and sandwiching it together to create some fun little designs, and then you can also pick that up. I love adding collage papers in there, just another layer. I love using the deli paper or deli prints because then you can kind of still see a little bit of what's happening underneath. Okay, so once I have quite a bit of layers down on the journal page, then I like to go in and draw a face over that. So I always start with the chin because I want to make sure I have enough room for the most important part, which is the face, and then most likely the head is going to be somewhere up there off of the edge of the paper. Okay, so once I have the face drawn, then I'm going to go in with my water brush and just go over the stabilo lines so I can see the face a little bit better. Now I like to go in with the oil paint sticks and just add a little bit of color to the face so that I can kind of see it a little bit better. So you could just use one color, the titanium white, and that would be just enough to kind of lighten the features so you could see a little bit better. What's fun about the layers is that some of the media underneath, if it's water soluble, will actually kind of mix around while you're, blending it in. And then the oil paint stick, if you get it somewhere where you don't want it, you can just take a little baby wipe and sort of wipe it away. Just be careful not to get the Stabilo pencil too wet because that will move around with any kind of water or wet media. So once I get the first layer on, then I just like to go in and blend it all around. If you want to cover up and make the areas a little bit more opaque, you can just add more paint stick. If you want to really emphasize highlighted areas, you can do that. Bridge of the nose, tip of the nose, forehead, above the eyes, cheeks, chin, and also the lip too. And if you want shadow, just bring the kind of the eyebrow, smudge it down along the sides of the nose. And that will create a little bit of depth. You can also add texture by pressing some silicone trivets or pot holders into the face, just kind of moving that around. And to get the whites of the eyes to pop up a little, you can use a little paint pen, or this is a solid paint marker. You can also just use acrylic paint and just get the corners of the eyes a little bit. And to color in the eye, I like to use the paint pen. So now that you have your portrait done on one side, it'd be nice to have a little sentiment or something on the other side. So what I've done is I've taken some of my scrap collage paper that I've been using to blot up wet ink and wet paint the whole time, and I've gone ahead and stamped with some foam stamps onto some scrap paper. And I'm also going to use some of this see-through deli printed paper. I have my foam cling stamps on an acrylic block ready to go. Make sure you turn it over, make sure you have it, all the letters are the right way and in the right order. And then just add your ink.